All right, let's now speak to some doctors also to get in some expert advice on what really are the solutions and the real problem being faced in hospitals as far as oxygen shortage is concerned. Dr. Alok Roy, chairman of the Medica Group. Thank you very much, Dr. Roy. You're also the head of health services for FICCI. We have Dr. Joseph Brito, former consultant in pediatric intensive care and infectious diseases at Imperial College, London. And we've got Dr. Vishal Rao. He is the Dean of the Center for Academic Research, HCG. Thank you very much. I want to start with you, Dr. Roy, first. Now, your hospital is in West Bengal, right? The Medica Hospital. And West Bengal is considered as, an oxygen-rich state, an oxygen surplus state. So, I don't think West Bengal is facing much of the problem that the national capital of Delhi or the state of Karnataka is facing. But, out of your wisdom and experience, what really can be done as of this moment so that the, hospitals or owners of hospitals don't have to rush to courts? You saw the manner in which many hospital owners and doctors had to move courts when their real job was to attend to patients.
Thank you, sir. Fortunately, we are in a state which is oxygen rich, and besides that, the administration, the government was very, very conscious, and they formed a group and very high-powered IS people who were in charge of oxygen supply at different places. Now, oxygen is not a problem. Our problem at this point of time in relation to oxygen is that we are not getting the pipes, copper pipes. If we want to expand, like the government wants us to expand to the more hospitals, we are not getting enough pipes, we are not getting enough connectors, we are not getting enough people to come and implement it, manifold rooms. Those are becoming our bottlenecks. So we're not able to expand. Though, wherever we are, there's enough supply of oxygen in that area, in that hospital. So, but the smaller hospitals, which depend on cylinders, they are facing problem because of transportation and refilling and filling. Those are the logistics problem. It has got nothing to do with the oxygen supply in the state.
Yes, and Dr. Roy, how do you suggest, what do you suggest? These are the problems that you highlighted. What do you think needs to be done as of this moment at record speed? Because, we are not just looking at the second wave. We also have to prepare for a third wave. Expert after expert is saying that you got a bigger worry. It's going to affect children also. So what's really the solution that you would like to share with the government?
Solution is that we must stop the black marketing. The hoarding of cylinders are a real cause for the cylinder shortage. There's no shortage of oxygen in West Bengal at least. But the hoarding of cylinders has made cylinders disappear. So the cylinders which were in circulation for refilling have disappeared. As a result, we have shortage. We have a shortage of all the associated equipments required for oxygen supply, like copper pipes, like connectors, like where you plug in the oxygen into the wall. Those contraptions are missing. Now, what is happening that they all come from the outside the state. And those places like Ludhiana and all that are in shutdown and lockdown mode. As a result, they're not coming in. So even if we have extra oxygen,
you won't be able to use them. Very interesting. Very interesting. And is this manufactured in India or do we need to import this?
They're all manufactured in India. They are not just able to be reaching to us in right amount.
Oh, that's terrible. Because of the lockdown, all of this is shut. And that's why all that chain has gotten disturbed. I think that's a very important suggestion. The government must look into this because even if your hospital being in an oxygen-rich state, you will not be able to expand your facilities simply because you do not have the. I think that's very, very interesting. The government must look into this. Dr. Brito, I want your. We'll start with you. Your what have you spotted as the problems, and what are the possible solutions that you can look at?
Sanket, thank you. Thank you for focusing on this colossal and apparently insurmountable crisis that we as a nation face. Let me give clinical context as to the use of oxygen. Oxygen for COVID lung disease is not curative. It doesn't address the underlying disease process. Patients, ideally for the best outcomes, need to be admitted in hospital. And in addition to high flow oxygen, most peer-reviewed protocols require that intravenous steroid, subcutaneous heparin and heparin drug, like drugs, need to be administered under close clinical supervision and should need to escalate from high flow oxygen. We need the ability to provide non-invasive ventilation, which is positive pressure ventilation using a tight-fitting face mask. We will never have enough oxygen. We will never have enough hospital beds. We have to stop focusing on mopping the water of the flow. And at some stage, we have to turn off the tap. An E-size oxygen cylinder, which is about 26 inches, has 680 liters of oxygen. At a flow rate of 10 liters per minute, will last just 68 minutes. The course of COVID lung disease is days. It's not weeks or hours. Take a jumbo-sized cylinder, 52 inches, 7,000 liters, 10 liters a minute, will last for 11 hours, 14 minutes. And these will have to be replaced. And therefore, I want to add my voice and appeal to Prime Minister Modi, who has the power to commit the nation to a moonshot decision, is to procure and purchase immediately, starting tonight, vaccine doses for 1 billion. That's the only solution to deal with this pandemic and sadly for the next pandemic. The pandemics are going to come at us in cycles. And we do need to establish, to answer your question, Sanket, we do need to establish a central vaccine agency managed by technocrats that is tasked with the immediate task of procuring and purchasing vaccines. The data suggests that there are 300 million doses of the very same AstraZeneca vaccine, which in India we call Covishield, which by July will be available in the United States. The United States hasn't given emergency use authorization to AstraZeneca. And therefore, these doses need to be procured by India, given that the pandemic is raging here. And these doses need to be administered 24/7 through our vaccine agencies. And we also need to focus on gene sequencing. To establish vaccine platforms in our country by doing licensing arrangements with different vaccine manufacturers. And there are 21 such vaccines on the COVAX platform. 4 of them are already in stage 4, which is data is being generated for quite extensive use.
Correct.
There are 17 in stage 3. Agnostic to the origin, country of origin, we need to establish licensing arrangements so that we can, it won't solve the immediate problem, but months from now, without being, your earlier point, being distracted by trips.
I think these are very important suggestions, and you know, medical expert after expert is saying that your only solution will be vaccination. Look at the Israel model, where they were able to vaccinate fast, and now they seem to be in a comfortable situation. But the thing with this pandemic, Dr. Rao, is that if one country is not safe, then the whole world is not safe, because the virus will mutate and then come and affect everyone, one and all. So the whole globe needs to be vaccinated.